I know some of you love cats. This is a book about a cat. It's called The Cat Who Walked Across France. For those of you who don't know, France is a country in Europe that a lot of us in the Pace family love France. So this is a cat that walked across France. That's a long walk because it's a whole country. There's a beautiful picture of being by the sea and the boats. And here's a picture of starting by the sea. This is probably the south of France because there are palm trees and there's the ocean. For many years, the cat had lived in the same stone house by the edge of the sea. He chased the wind that scuttled through the gardens. He watched the birds flitter from tree to tree. At dusk, he curled up in the bend of the old woman's arm. The old woman would scratch the cat's ears and stroke his back. Good kitty, good kitty. He prowled the streets, begging for scraps to eat and fleeing from stray dogs, until one day he left. Look at the big church in that street. He roamed the countryside, circling pastures where animals grazed, and he watched his own shadow lengthen as each day drew to a close. At night, he sheltered himself in a lonely barn. He lay in a pile of stiff hay, but when he closed his eyes, he could feel the softness of the blue grass that grew behind the stone house at the edge of the sea. Oh, it's beautiful where he is, but he still wants to be at his old house. At daybreak, the cat would bathe himself in the first rays of sun. Then he would trot off. Sometimes he strolled, other times he slunk. He learned to hunt field mice and birds and drink from village fountains. Once someone set a bowl of milk under his nose, and he thought of staying. But then a voice cried, "Run along now." Big cities loomed large, bustling and brimming with noise. But the cat scampered bravely down the wide avenues, dodging cars and bicycles. You see him there? Sitting there. There's some cars and bicycles going by. Children playing ball would chase after him or cry, "Shoo, shoo!" and the cat would scurry up a tree. Do you see him way up that tree? But when he nested in the branches, he would remember the tangy smell of lemons ripening on a branch under a window at the stone house by the edge of the sea, and he would move on. The cat pranced over bridges and bristled at the thundering trains that passed. At dusk, he would lick the dirt from his face and paws. In his dreams, he could hear the twigs snapping and the crunch of dried leaves as he circled around the stone house by the edge of the sea. Weeks passed, then months. The cat measured time against the weathered soles of his feet. His fur grew scruffy. Now and again he would stop to linger on the grassy bank or in the cool shade of an ancient wall. Look at that old city. Do you see the cat? He's looking across the lake to the castle. Or he would pause to watch a barge gliding down a canal. That barge is carrying something somewhere. When it rained, the cat took refuge under a friendly rafter. He was lonely and tired, but when the storm passed, he would march on, driven by the taste of the salty air that blew off the water and coated the bench behind the stone house by the edge of the sea. Oh, look, so he's taking shelter in that wood pile, but it's all snowy. It must be winter now. When the cat came to a river, he would stop for a drink. He would watch the fish jump in wide arcs over the water, and he would cry, meow. Then he would stretch his legs and his back and continue on his way. Do you see the cat? Where is the cat? Do you see him? Right there by the bank of the river. Sometimes he stopped to romp in the fields. He rolled in the tall grass and skipped over buttercups. But when he came to the fields of lavender, see how they're purple? That's a beautiful flower. When he came to the fields of lavender, a memory stirred, and the cat saw the blue door of the stone house by the edge of the sea and the soft light in the hallway that seemed to say, "Come right in." The cat was thin and frail when he wandered into the port. The boats with their flapping sails told him he was nearby. He's reached the ocean, you could tell, because they're boats. At last he walked up the gate of the stone house by the edge of the sea. The front door was wide open. The cat walked in. He settled into a warm spot and fell asleep. He awoke to the sound of voices. Where did it come from? Do you suppose it's lost? A boy and a girl were standing over him talking. A platter of food was set on the floor and a bowl of fresh water. The cat shied away. Here, kitty, said a soft voice. A hand reached under the cat's chin and scratched. The cat began to purr. He closed his eyes. He was reminded of the hands of an old woman stroking his back. He could hear her quiet breathing and gentle words. Good kitty, and he knew he was home. So he went back to the house where he lived, and someone new lived there, but guess what? They liked him and they let him stay, so he went back all the way across a whole country to find the house with the blue door that he remembered was his. What a sweet cat. Look at how far he went. Amazing.